Government shutdown, without a doubt, is the biggest story in the land. You know, it's not that sexy. It's not fun to talk about it every day, all day. But it is, in fact, the biggest story happening in the United States right now because the Democrats just don't want to seem to give in. I don't know what leverage they think they have, but I want to get with Mark Alford. He is, of course, U.S. Representative, the great state of Missouri, District 4, right, Mark?
That's correct. Just south of Kansas City, over to the Lake of the Ozarks, and down to almost the Arkansas border. 24 counties in the heart of Missouri, in the heart of America.
Amazing. I love it. We've got 5 stations in Missouri. We love that you came on today. He's a Republican Study Committee Messaging Task Force Chair, also, very importantly, on the Appropriations and Small Business Committees. So let's talk about appropriations. Am I missing something? Because a clean CR, from what I understand, let's continue the spending that all the Democrats agreed to under Biden, I believe. Just continuing more, continuing resolutions, no adding anything, no special projects. Let's just keep going for 6 weeks. Let's negotiate the heck out of this and get a real deal by November. What's the problem here? What am I missing?
Well, Joe, you're not missing anything. That's exactly what we asked for, and that's exactly what the Democrats under Chuck Schumer did not give us because he's worried about losing his primary next go around to AOC. I'm new on the Appropriations Committee. We worked our butts off to get these 12 bills through committee, spending some 15 hours a day in committee, listening to the crazy wacko Democrats try to push their progressive agenda on these bills. We didn't let it happen. We got 3 across the House floor. They were to go to the Senate to be in conference. We haven't done that in years. We're trying to get back to regular order. We don't like minibuses. We don't like omnibuses like Nancy Pelosi had going.
Yes.
And so we were doing it the right way. And all we needed was 7 more weeks to finish the job. And the Democrats are standing in our way. They would rather fight President Trump and fight the American people than fight for what is right.
Representative, I think most Americans don't understand what you just said to be true, and it is true. The actual budget process should be 12 separate bills, right? You vote on every bill, you send it over to the Senate, they vote on it, they send it to the president. How long has it been since we've done that? It seems like we're always living in a CR or an omnibus or a minibus, like you said.
Well, I've only been in Congress for 2.5 years. We haven't done it since I've been there. I think it's been maybe 10, 14 years since we've done it this way.
Yeah.
Tom Cole, our chair, is intent, along with our speaker, Mike Johnson, of getting back to regular order. That's what the American people deserve. They don't deserve these omnibus bills like Nancy Pelosi had, where, a day before Christmas, they give you a bill that thick and they tell you, okay, vote on it, and then you can read it. We're not doing business anymore that way in America. And so that's why it's important that we get back to regular order. We get these 12 appropriation bills done. We get them all 12 passed on the House floor. The Senate does its job. It's just like Schoolhouse Rock. It goes in conference, then it goes to the president's desk. Bada boom, bada bing, we got a budget. The problem is the Democrats are so intent on their crazy, reckless spending. They wanted to put another $1.5 trillion onto this bill. Yes, to help fund illegal aliens getting health care, to take away $50 billion from our rural hospitals at a time when they need it. It's not happening. That's why we're not negotiating. We are sticking together as a team on this, saying vote for the clean CR. Quit holding us hostage, Chuck Schumer.
I hope there isn't this chink in the armor that appears to be their representative. And what I mean is, Hakeem Jeffries went back. He wants another bite at the apple. He voted no to this, which would have continued spending for things like military pay and so on. Now he wants to have another vote on a separate thing just for military pay. Mike Johnson wisely said, nope, you already had a chance at that, and you voted no to military pay. But over in the Senate, John Thune looks like he might be listening. I don't want there to be a separate bill. I think the House would reject it anyway. What is that game? Would we ever pull out military pay and say, let's just pay the military and keep the rest of the government shut down? Or can't we just say, hey, Democrats, just vote for the bill that's there. The military will get paid.
Exactly. They could have voted on this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when we first passed it. They refused to do it, and now they're trying to blame it on us. I just interviewed the colonel who is the commander of the 509th Bomber Wing at Whiteman Air Force Base in Manchester, home of the B-2 stealth bomber. He retired 2 days before the strike on Iran. Okay, he helped coordinate this strike, and now he's telling me about all the people who served under him, the very men and women who dropped those bombs on Iran to obliterate their nuclear capabilities. And come Wednesday, they are not getting paid. That is sick, but that's on the head of Chuck Schumer. We cannot go back now until we reopen the government to do all these little things that they were trying to break and put a chink in our armor. They've got to reopen the government. We've got to have funding for programs, food programs, women and infants and children. I know President Trump came up yesterday with money he's legally going to take out of the tariff revenues that we're getting in. Thank God we have these tariff revenues.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of tariffs, but we got the money, so let's spend it. Let's help our farmers. Let's help hungry women, infants, and children. Because Chuck Schumer is trying to drive a stake in the heart of America. I know we're getting close to Halloween, but he's a clown. He's a joker, and he's trying to take this country over based out of fear and stupidity.
District 4 Republican, great state of Missouri. Go to Alford. Is it Alford or Alford? I want to say it right.
It's Alford. Alford, no Chevy, although I used to drive a Chevy.
I am a Chevy guy, too. I'm not all Ford, but we can
Now
still
you
get along.
remember
Alford.house.gov. Go there and go check out what he's doing. So let's talk about the leverage that he purports to have, because I can't find it. What leverage does Chuck Schumer think he has to make the House of Representatives change the original bill that was completely clean? You guys didn't want anything extra. You don't want to cut any spending. I wish you would. But you don't want to cut any spending. You just wanted to extend this for 6 weeks. What leverage does he think he has? He's not going to win. There's no way he thinks he wins.
Joe, let me back up just a second on something you said. We are in the budget we're trying to put together. We have made significant cuts in every one of these bills except for defense, homeland security, but we're making cuts everywhere else. Okay, I want to make that very clear.
Well, Representative, I want you to understand. I know that. I know that you're looking to do cuts, and I support you in that. But the CR wasn't doing any cuts.
No, the CR was continuing.
That's what I'm saying. What is his leverage?
Right. He has no leverage. The only leverage he has is from the mainstream media, who doesn't want to tell the truth about what's really going on. They want to conflate the issue, all these healthcare. This isn't about healthcare. We can have that discussion about these COVID era subsidies that the Democrats actually put the limitations on and an expiration date for the end of this year. They're the ones who did it. It wasn't us.
Right.
We didn't vote for that crap.
Right.
They did, and now they want to blame it on us. We can have that discussion later. But the only thing he can do is obfuscate, lie, and gaslight the American people. And you heard what he said yesterday, right? He said, the longer this goes on, the better it is for the Democrats.
Wow.
Every day that this happens, the shutdown continues, the Schumer shutdown continues, is a better day for us. A better day for us. Who's us? The Democrats, who have no vision, no leader, no message. They're like a drowning victim out in the middle of the lake, flailing around, and they're willing to take under anyone who comes to help rescue them. Chuck Schumer, we're not coming to rescue you. You dug this hole.
Yeah.
You broke it. You buy it, buddy.
It's 6 votes now, Representative. 6 times he has said no to military pay. He said no to Border Patrol pay. He said no to half of the staff of the IRS. And I'm not sure I'm mad at them not working, to be honest. But half the staff of the IRS is gone. Furloughing workers. The OMB says we'll just start laying some people off. Every single one of these things is on the feet of Chuck Schumer, yet he seems to be delusional that he's winning. Are they just really bad at reading the room? They're bad at reading the room on women and men's sports, or men and women's sports, I should say. They're bad at reading the room on the border. They're bad at reading the room about law enforcement. They're bad at reading the room on spending. I mean, are they really just that bad, or is there something at play here that I'm not smart enough to get?
Joe, they're totally out of touch with the American people. Just the opposite of President Trump. Trump has had his finger on the pulse of the American people the moment he came down that escalator in 2015. I knew, a lot of people knew, that he was going to be president then because he could read the American people. Even though he was a billionaire, he was in touch with how the average person sitting on their couch at home in the middle of Missouri are feeling about the government. They don't trust government.
Yeah.
They don't trust our leaders in Washington. We are trying to rebuild that trust by getting back on the rat track, trying to bring down our spending, reduce our $37 trillion in debt. We are going broke as a nation. We're a ship about to hit a reef. And if we don't steer away from that reef, we're going to go under. The Democrats want us to go under so they can come along with the lifeboats and try to rescue us. We don't want your rescue boat. We want to get back on track, smooth sailing under our new captain, Donald J. Trump, behind the resolute desk, leading us to prosperity and making America truly great again.
It is District 4 Republican, great state of Missouri. It is Mark Alford. Let's talk a little bit about the border, about illegal immigration when it comes to this CR. The lie is that no illegal alien has ever gotten any federally subsidized medical or health care, which is untrue. Obviously, we know that the $200 billion or $150 billion, whatever it was that you guys took out in the one big beautiful bill, was a number that represented subsidies to blue states, generally blue states, if not not only just California, where they were taking that money, using it for a state-run sort of Medicaid, Cal-Aid, or whatever the hell they called it, and they were giving my money from Texas to illegal aliens in California. Am I misrepresenting that, or are they somehow right that not one illegal alien has ever gotten free health care?
They are dead wrong, and you are dead right. It is a Ponzi scheme perpetrated on the American people by the Democrats who welcome under Joe Biden between 12 and 20 million illegal aliens into our great nation to tear apart the fabric of our nation. And they're intent on doing this eventually to get them on the voter rolls. But in the meantime, to get them in the districts like mine and Kansas City and try to boost the number of Democrats, because when you're counting during the census, you're not counting just citizens. We should just count citizens. They're counting everyone. And the more people they can get into these blue districts or purple districts that are going to vote Democrat, the more power they're going to have in Congress. This is a lie, a deception that the Democrats are perpetrating on the American people. Illegal aliens have gotten free health care from you, the citizens of the United States of America. Yeah. We are trying to put an end to it, and the Democrats are saying, hold on. Even in their replacement bill for the continuing resolution that they proposed in the Senate, it was clearly stripping out our language that we put in there to protect the American taxpayer.
In fact, if you look it up, it's on page 57. They literally are trying to add that money back in. Yeah. And that money, exactly. You and I both know where that money went. It is Mark Alford, District 4 Republican, great state of Missouri. When it comes to the ACA, which is inaptly named, it's not affordable at all. But when
it comes unaffordable.
Exactly right. When it comes to Obamacare, we're talking about subsidies going away on December 31st. You even have a Republican or two now saying, I would vote against this bill if I had a chance to again because it strips out the subsidies. It doesn't. The CR doesn't change anything. That's to be negotiated on by the end of the year. Again, why the lack of truthful messaging here? I don't get it.
That's the only way they can win. Look, or they think they can win. This is like going into, maybe you're late on your mortgage payment, okay? And you go into the bank and say, hey, I need an extension of my mortgage. And while you're there, your spouse says, let's buy a new car while we're here and let illegal aliens drive it. No, hell no, we're not doing that.
That's really dumb, yeah.
We've got to pay our bills. We need this extension so that we can get our work done in Congress. We're not buying a new car and letting illegal aliens drive it. And I don't know. Here's the problem. Mike Johnson is a wonderful speaker, a man of integrity, a man of wisdom. He wants to do the right thing. And that scares the Democrats to death.
Yeah.
Because when you go up against a person like that, and all you have is lies and deception, you're not going to win. And we are going to win this. We are not going to negotiate with these liars who want to take our country under. We are not negotiating on this continuing resolution, a simple extension so we can get back to Washington and do our job. And one more thing, Joe. We're not sitting around. I have been out all day, all week, meeting with rural hospitals, meeting with business owners. I just did an interview with a veteran that's going to be on our social media sites at Rep Mark Alford soon. Timothy Brooks is his name. He has traumatic brain injury, PTSD from the service, and he can't get the care he needs right now because the VA is not able to respond because they're shut down or whatever line they're trying to call. Our caseworkers are trying to help him out. We can't get anybody to answer in Washington, D.C. That's disgusting.
It is.
Chuck Schumer needs to open this government and quit holding Americans like Timothy Brooks hostage.
And he needs to realize that he owns this, and he's acting like he doesn't. He doesn't have any leg to stand on. Just 6 months ago, he was the one that said, you can't shut the government down. We have to have negotiations. And now he's the guy who's literally doing it. If Schumer, Mark, answer me this, because I don't work in Washington. Maybe I don't understand how it works. If Schumer were to go to 5 Democrats today and say, listen, we better vote for this, they would, right?
Yeah, he would. And in fact, I think that's what's going to end up happening. He's got to save face. You remember when he voted for the clean resolution, the continuing resolution that we had back in March, he caught holy hell for that. He was on the cover of magazines. People are, the Democrats and the progressive woke end of his party had pitchforks out for Chuck Schumer.
Yes.
And that's what he's fearful of. So he has to put up a front like he's the big, mean, tough guy when he's actually not that at all. He's a weak liar. And he is trying to drag America down with those weak lies. And so I think once this King's March is over on the 18th, where a lot of these people are, the No King's March are coming down to Washington, D.C. They're deathly afraid of those people. They're like the pro-Hamas wing of the Democrat Party.
Right.
They certainly don't want to mess with them. I think once that's over, he's going to go to some of his buddies on the Democrat side in the Senate and say, hey, I can't vote for this, but please you vote for this. Let's get out of the shutdown, but I've got to save face.
Yeah.
I think that's what will end up happening.
I think you're probably right. It is Representative Mark Alford. Go to, what is it, at Mark Alford, or at Rep Mark Alford on the social media?
At Rep Mark Alford on social media.
Okay, I'll make sure we're following each other. I don't know if we do right now. Let me finish with this. You brought up Hamas. You can't trust Hamas. You couldn't trust the PLO, the Palestinian Authority, the Muslim Brotherhood. You couldn't trust them. But it looks like with 20 other nations in the region saying you better do what they say, this might actually work. How do you feel going to this peace plan?
I've never been more excited about this since the war started 2 years ago. Israel has every right to defend itself and live in peace and harmony with its neighbors. They have not been able to do that. They tried it. It didn't work. I was over there in April of 24 and was able to see some of these sites where people were brutally murdered and babies ripped out of wombs and people burned alive. It's horrendous. I think only Donald J. Trump could bring a resolution to this through his strong power. That's what we needed behind that resolute desk. Joe Biden certainly wasn't going to do it. He was stopping the shipment of arms that Israel needed to finish the job. And this could have all been over on October 8th. Yeah. Had Hamas surrendered and released the hostages. But, we didn't let Netanyahu finish the job. We're kind of weak when it comes to that. And I think if Hamas is able to reconstitute itself, which I think President Trump is trying to prevent that from happening with the 20 points that he's put in this plan, this will be successful. If they come back in any form or fashion to have any influence in the ruling of Gaza, there's going to be hell to pay.
I agree with you, and I think that the other Middle Eastern countries, the Arab countries, getting involved in what happens in the future of Gaza is a game changer. It was a masterful move as well. We're going to find out this weekend, right, Mark? If they release the hostages, both dead and alive, then we know that this is probably a deal.
Yeah, part of the problem, Joe, that they had is, and we'd heard this when I was over in Jordan and Egypt this past a year ago from some of the leaders over there. They didn't think that Hamas knew where everyone was. They kind of shopped out some of these hostages, not the dead ones, but the live ones. And so, when this negotiation started happening, they're like, oh, crap, we got to find out where all these people are.
Yeah.
And that's finally happened. That's why it took a little bit of a time frame to get this deal done. But I will be so happy, and I know the families will. We met with some of the hostage families. Hirsch Goldberg, who unfortunately did not survive. He was murdered, assassinated in one of those tunnels not too long ago. But even parents who want the bodies back, and President Trump talks about that quite a bit. It's so important for those families to have closure. For the young men and women who didn't make it, it's going to give the families some closure. To the ones who did make it, to the ones who survive, they are heroes for Israel, and I think for the world, showing that their tenacity means something.
It does, and a lasting peace would mean something that I'd never seen in my lifetime, and I'm 59 now. I hope to see that happen. It is Representative Mark Alford, District 4 Republican, great state of Missouri. Mark, great to meet you. Let's do this again very soon. Appreciate what you do for Missouri and for the country.
Well, thank you, Joe. Love your program. God bless you.
Thank you, brother. We're back after this. Stay right here.